Your image, your face is unique, and as a result of that uniqueness, it's very sensitive information.
Canada's privacy commissioners are calling for a new legal framework on the police use of facial recognition technology, arguing current rules are not enough to address the risks to privacy and other fundamental rights associated with the technology.
Facial recognition technology is very much a part of our society now, and it's very invasive and collects a lot of sensitive information about you and I. What we are saying is that when law enforcement intends to use facial recognition technology, and they may well in certain circumstances, there need to be clear rules around it.
McAvoy says the tech is not widely used among police forces in BC right now. He adds while the Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act puts some limits on its use, those limitations are still very broad.
FRT collects a very unique print of you, and it's not unlike, for example, a fingerprint or your DNA sample from blood. Those are very carefully regulated by the criminal code now.
The use of facial recognition has been a focus for Canada's Privacy Commissioner in recent years, with one investigation finding the RCMP violated the Privacy Act using it. Another investigation found Cadillac Fairview contravened privacy laws when it used the software at its Canadian malls, including Pacific Centre, without shoppers' consent.
The legal system right now just isn't equipped to address the specific privacy impacts that come from facial recognition and facial surveillance. And I would add that there's other kinds of recognition technologies that maybe aren't as widespread just yet, but I think ought to be incorporated into the conversation when we're thinking about the future of privacy.
The House of Commons Ethics Committee is currently reviewing the use and impact of facial recognition technology. Thomason, who was invited to give testimony, says governments need to be mindful of its use by companies and advertisers as well, and not just police.
There is a lot of research that has shown that facial recognition systems are not as accurate as they're often purported to be, and that they are inaccurate, especially along lines of race and gender and age as well.
The Vancouver Police Department says it is currently not using the technology, and work on its own policy of the software's use, which started last year, continues.
Presumably, we can now move forward with what we committed to doing, which is drafting a policy for approval by the police board.
In Vancouver, Monika Gul, City News.